Now we go live on location here from Greta Bar on 590 King Street West. Nick Alberga, Zack Phillips, pregame of Game 1 of the Battle of Ontario. What's going on, Zach? How are we?
Trying to figure out how we're sitting because I'm looking at the screen way to the left. I'm going to get real close to you. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty pumped up about this game. I'm happy to be here at Greta. Vangeli Rocks, who's always in the chat, is here. He already said hi. So, I don't know, pretty cool, but I'm pumped up for Game 1 here tonight.
There is a buzz certainly in the atmosphere when it comes to Toronto and this Battle of Ontario. We know Sens fans travel well. Certainly Leafs Nation will travel well in this series as well. I want to mention as well, our Super Chat charity partner this season is Sick Kids. Want to make sure that your question or comment gets on the show. Hit us up with a Super Chat. Proceeds from our Super Chat will go to Sick Kids, ranked the #1 research-intensive children's hospital in Canada and 3rd in the world. And shout out to producer Vic behind the scenes, taking some time out of his busy long weekend. His Uber was an accident earlier today, but he has made it here. So shout out to Vicky boy.
I know, what a chaotic day for this guy. He's holding his elbow, his neck's all banged up. This guy's going to be dealing with it, going through it here. But hey, that's what playoffs is all about, adversity. Took us a while to get this thing set up here. We got it on the air on time. And Vic's elbow is backwards, but it'll be fine.
Vic looks seriously injured, so if anybody from Uber is watching right now, something's coming your way. But anyways, first and foremost, we got to give a shout-out to our good friends here at Greta Bar. Incredible hospitality. It's going to be a great vibe tonight, Zach.
Yeah, it is. I'm excited. I mean, Easter Sunday, and they're still pretty busy in here at Greta. I mean, it's 6 o'clock. Leafs game coming up here. People starting to stroll in, fill this place in. And I was walking down the street. I don't know. You live down here as well. You could kind of tell, like, it's better weather. People are outside more. But it's not just that. Like, there's an excitement around this. There's people in Leafs hats, Leafs jerseys, people walking around with their kids, going outside on the patios, everything. Like, it's exciting. It's an exciting time of the year. And I feel like this year, going into Game 1, it's like a different mindset, mentality for people around this. Like, I feel like I've had a lot of nervous energy going into Game 1. Yeah, I'm not like the most confident person in the world that you're going to dummy the Senators here, but I feel more confident in the group of how they played this year, the coaching staff, the depth that you've got, the way this thing's being built out. Like, it feels like that. It's not just us that are feeling that. Rosie, who's felt that and talked about it. It's people around the city and fans of the team right now.
You know who's feeling that way? Ottawa Senators fans. And I don't know if it's my algorithm on Twitter, but all I've been seeing all weekend long is annoying-ass Senators fans chirping the Leafs. And I actually
it's about 35 of them. So
yeah, 38, I think. But I commend Leafs Nation for not really jawing back. To your point, I think there's like a sense of confidence that I haven't seen in this fan base in a while. And again, it even dates back to some goofy tweets throughout the season that Craig Berube wasn't the right guy. They don't got the right team. This team is locked and ready. In my opinion, at least, it's the best playoff-ready team we've seen in recent memory, Zach.
I think, too, part of that confidence, like, we've gone into series before, and it's like, fuck the Bruins, fuck the, like we're gonna steamroll these guys, and it's like it's false confidence in a way, or it's like I don't know the right way to put it, like cocky confidence, right? Where like you shouldn't have that. This is not like an over-the-top confidence. No. This is like a comfortable confidence of, yeah, this series could go the wrong way, but like people believe in this group in a different way, and I think it's because of what we've all said about who they are, how they're composed, who's running it. Like it's just, you know what? One of the things honestly might be about this. Tell me if you get this vibe too. Is it's the guys in the room and how they've spoken about it. Like I listen to you guys on the morning show. I listen to Overdrive a lot as well, and one of the things that's being brought up consistently through all of it is like, the guys in the room are talking about the playoffs and the mindset and what they need to do to be ready and how they're going to have success. That is new. Like, we've not really heard that before. They're all like, hush, hush, nobody say anything. We don't want anything out there. This is different from even them, and I think that's exuding out to the people, like, watching.
You're right. There's been sort of a level of professionalism where it's like it's all fine and dandy what you do in the regular season, but it's all about the Stanley Cup playoffs. They've talked openly about winning a Stanley Cup for the first time in ever. You never knew what the mentality was. It was like, hey, he's chasing 70 goals or he's chasing 100 points. Like, it just seems like there's been a team buy-in, which we've been looking for, and I think that starts with Craig Berube, who will make his debut behind the bench in the Stanley Cup playoffs. That's an important factor to look at. Certainly the goaltending is being a big conversation in this series as well. Can't forget, and weirdly enough, I was there for the only playoff appearance for Anthony Stolarz last year in the Cup final. Bobrovsky was pulled in Edmonton. Stoli came in. He was lit up. But this is his first NHL start in the postseason. Looking forward to that, too.
Yeah, and these two guys here behind the scenes are no strangers to how many fucking minutes Anthony Stolarz has played. We got Pat and producer Vic who've been talking about, oh, no, he doesn't have the experience. Joseph Wall's the guy he's played. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's one of those things like, you aren't the guy who's got the experience. You aren't the guy who's won the Stanley Cup, whether you're the coach, the goalie, the veteran defenseman who's been there, done that, until you've done it. You can't do it until you've done it. Jordan Binnington, that first year in St. Louis, I don't know. Craig Berube, first year behind the bench with these guys. Can they do it? He's never won before. Then they do it. Now all of a sudden it's stapled to their name. So I get that concern with him. Like, how is he going to handle this in the playoffs? It's a legitimate question. Like, we don't know. He could let in 2 goals in the first period and crumble and disappear. He could, but we don't know.
I actually think it actually favors somebody being green. Look at Joseph Wall, right? He's had a lot of experience. And then I watched the start of the playoffs yesterday, and Connor Hellebuck's barfing all over himself. The guy's played 3 billion games in the playoffs. So I don't subscribe to that. We've seen so many examples. Matthew Nyes came into the league, started in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Like, I think that's made a bigger conversation than it needs to be. I should mention as well, if you want to hop aboard, we're all wearing our Now We Go t-shirts today. Our boy Patrick, I guess, forgot the memo on that front. Maybe the delivery's still on the way. But nationgear.ca, where you can buy your official Now We Go playoff tee to support the boys, support the brand. We're bringing it. We got all avenues covered, by the way, here in round 1 of the Battle of Ontario. I'm actually headed down to Ottawa for game 3 and 4. We got After Dark. We're going to have some great guests throughout the week. I'm looking forward to this week. At the Leafs Nation 401, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And, it should be a lot of fun over the next couple weeks here, Zach.
I'm excited. We're going to be here at Greta Bar. So, I mean, look, Easter Sunday as well. It's one thing. I mean, it's hard to get out here and get to. I understand that. But we're going to be here. Game 1 and 2, you're going to be here as well, at least for the pregame for a bit. Head off, go to the game, and then people stopping by for the postgame show. Vic and I are going to be here for games 3 and 4. We'll figure that one out. This guy's going to be behind the sticks and then running over here and sitting next to me for the postgame.
One-man band, Vic Palladian.
We'll figure it out. I'm excited, man. I'm excited for this series to get underway. I'm excited for the playoffs here. Look, it's the simplest ask, but maybe in a way it's asking for a lot. I just want to run.
Me too.
A Stanley Cup is a lot to ask for. 1 of 32
What does a
teams
run entail for you?
I want to go to the Eastern Conference Finals.
For me, it's can we get to games where it's not fucking -5 outside, okay? I'm walking here today. I did the journey from Liberty Village today. It's like a 15-minute walk. Too cold, man.
Yeah.
Just get me to a point where I can wear a T-shirt, maybe some shorts to a game, and to watch a game, and I'm feeling good. But, man, I honestly believe very, very greatly in this team. I think they have the necessary components to go on a lengthy playoff run. You can clip me. You can radio me. I'm very confident in this team. We'll see what they bring here in game 1.
Yeah, I'm used to, I love to golf. I'm used to getting to the point where when you can golf, I don't have to worry about, am I going to be back in time for the game? Like, I'm out on the course, it's whatever. Whenever I get home, I get home. I don't want to deal with that on Saturdays. I don't want to deal with that on Sundays. Like, I want to be saying, no, I can't go golf, or I got to golf at 7 a.m. because I need to be back because we're doing shows, because this team is still playing. I want that. Like, I'm envious. You see the fucking people in Edmonton are still wearing parkas in June, but, like, you look around, you see some of the other teams, they're wearing shorts and jerseys and stuff going to games. Like, that looks electric. I need that. I need that once. Give it to me.
I had a chance last year's Cup final to do some work with the NHL, and I was in Edmonton. I was in Florida. Obviously, drastic differences in market, but very passionate to say the least. And just the experience in Edmonton, covering a Stanley Cup final, and just the buy-in from the city, everybody, every car littered. I want to see that again in Leafs Nation, and certainly this is the start of what we hope is a massive journey. I should mention as well, big week for Leafs Morning Take. We got Eddie Belfour on tomorrow's show. Dave Pagnotta is going to co-host tomorrow. Rosie back in the mix on Tuesday. And Rosie did a tremendous job back last week solidifying, first time ever on Leafs Morning Take. Thomas Caberlet is going to drop by on Tuesday. Talk about the Battle of Ontario. Looking forward to that interview as well.
Yeah, that'll be electric. I mean, you know what I was watching, and I tweeted it out, like, if the Leafs brought back, it's too late now, they're not going to do this, but if they brought back
Kerncraft,
that old Kerncraft song, if they brought that back, and I was looking, in the video I posted, they've got all the old guys in there, Eddie Belfour, McCabe, Caberlet, Stumpy Thomas, like, they're ripping through the highlight pack. I'm like, man, that was a fucking, what a time.
How old were you in that era? Like 04, 03?
6, 7 years old.
See, I have more of a vivid memory, and maybe I was around, I was obviously probably 13, 14, 15 during, like, when the Leafs were really, really good, and they made it to the conference final. They lose to Carolina, but it was such an amazing time to be alive. I'm going to temper expectations. I know people are horny and they're calling it a bloodbath. It's not going to be a bloodbath. No. Is it going to be a physical series? I expect it to be. You look at what Travis Green has put forth in Ottawa, very respectable opponent. You look at Craig Berube, what he's instilled in this team. I think the Leafs and the Senators will come out physical, but I don't think it's going to be as much of an engaging storyline as people think.
No, and I think if you're the Leafs, it's the one thing that I'm interested in with how Craig Berube is going to handle things. Like, I think one of the criticisms I had traditionally of Sheldon Keefe was he would get too caught up into the mind game, right? Like, whether
what a start for the Devils today, by the way.
Right. I mean, but it's like it's whether it's how he talks about injuries in the media, or if he's saying which goalie's playing, or what the line combos are, or who's starting. Like, dude, just play your game. And a lot of the times it felt like the Leafs were on the back foot because they were the ones that were like, oh, you're doing this, we have to do that. Yeah. You're doing this, you're going to play this physical game, you're going to forecheck hard, we'll do that. It's like, no. Play your game. Play Maple Leafs hockey. Play Craig Berube hockey. And I think how Berube has handled, I mean, like, we all knew McCabe and OEL coming back, but how he handled everything was just so like, good. Yeah, I don't know. And it's just like, move on.
Seasoned, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Are they coming? I don't know. We'll find out. And it was like Keefe would have given you like, I saw him skating.
Bullshit.
He had his backhand look good. The other, shut up. Like, just get on with it. Is he playing or not? I don't know. Okay, move on. Yeah. And it's like he's been to the point, it's been dead set, and I am interested to see whether it's lines and matchups or if it's the identity of the team, of how they come out right away. Just play Leafs hockey.
Yeah.
Like, who cares what the Senators do here? Take it to them. Play your game. They're not going to be able to handle it.
Well, and it's got to be simple messaging. I think you look at these two rosters, it's definitively clear, at least in my eyes, who the better team is. Now go out and prove it. But I think to your point, we conversed about this all weekend long, is the adjustments are a big part of any series, and especially when you bring in a recent Cup winner like Craig Berube. But I love the fact they're not really deviating from what brought them success late in the season. And with that, as we've been talking about for a while, Max Pacioretty's been ready for like 6 weeks. He's not playing here in Game 1. David Kamp's not playing in Game 1. They're essentially going with the roster they took down the stretch, which I really respect. I think it's a lot about adjustments. There's going to be adversity at some point in time in this series. There's going to be a moment where they have to decide, do we stick with Stolarz? Do we go to Wall?
Yep.
Do we go to Pacioretty? But that's for down the road. Go with the team that brought you here.
Yeah, I didn't mind that at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we were all kind of expecting Pacioretty announcement to come where he was going to be back in the lineup. I literally had, man, who was somebody texted me yesterday and said, please tell me Reeves isn't playing. I'm like, no, like
he's not playing.
It's roster expansions. Yeah. He's not playing. Like, don't worry about it.
He's a glorified cheerleader. But, we love Revo, you know? But,
yeah, they just want him in the room. Yeah. But outside of that, it was like, okay, Pacioretty, he's back. Oh, he's on line rushes. Oh, we're expecting him to maybe play. I appreciate Berube doing that. It's a successful recipe here down the stretch. What was it? Like 8-1-1 in your last 10 games. You go into the playoffs clinching the Atlantic Division. You did it on your own terms. You took it into your own hands. You hit the milestones. Like the line combinations were working well.
It was a dream finish. Yeah.
It was. I said that. It was like the perfect finish. And why would you change that? Why mess with it? Like throw those guys in there. I'm watching today. You talk about the 38 Sens fans that exist in the world. Like, they're tweeting, like, oh, why do we have, like, Highmore in? Why don't we have Cousins in? And it's like, we're not worried about that. We're not worried about that right now. And it's, like, the first time in the Matthews era I feel like we've got, other than really the Washington year, I feel like it's the first time we've gone into the playoffs just being like, this is a good lineup. I like what we have. There's no questions about goaltending, defense, lineups, line combos, nothing. Just let's roll.
At the Leafs Nation 401, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as you get set for Game 1 here of the the Battle of Ontario, as the Maple Leafs host the Ottawa Senators. Let's talk X factors now, right? Because it was borderline intriguing because I'm not crazy about the player. He's at his moments, but Nick Robertson cracks the lineup for Game 1, which I think is actually a pretty substantial story considering where he started the year. But I look at Robertson. I look at Bob McMahon, Max Pacioretty when he's in. Yeah. As much as the story's going to be and the focus will be on the big boys, understandably so, Toronto needs guys in the bottom six or depth guys to elevate. You know, Steven Lorentz. Like you're going to need some big goals from those guys. Lawton too,
Yeah, talking like X factors, I've bounced around. I think I asked you guys the other day, like, what's like an underrated part of this team you guys are looking at? Because I got asked, and I was trying to answer the question. I'm thinking about like, what is the X factor here this year? Because part of it to me is the power play. Like, I'll just throw all these things out here at you. Like, part of it was the power play. The power play last year was, I think, 4.9%.
1 for 21.
Like, that's abysmal. Yeah. You can't do that. And it's so hard to score at 5-on-5. You get these odd man opportunities. You have to capitalize. It doesn't have to be blistering 50%. Yeah. Oh, my God, you're the best power play in the league. But better than what you were last year. That's important. Do the big boys show up? That's an X factor here, maybe. Matthew Nyes, that's an X factor. Like, I bounced around all these things. I don't know. The one thing that I've kind of started to narrow down to that I think is actually an X factor, maybe it's in my mind here, is John Tavares. Because there's a lot of talk on what Matthews and Marner are going to do, and the impact Matthew Nyes is going to have, and the power play, as I mentioned, and your goaltending, whatever. There's a lot. Those are all important. If John Tavares shows up in this series, and he is what he was essentially in the series that they won against Tampa, he was unreal that year, and he's been pretty consistent each year. But if he does that, I don't know how the Sens match up against that second line. Like, once you get past the first line, because that's traditionally a thing. Oh, stop the first line, and then you're cooked. Well, I don't know that Ottawa has the ability to match up past the first.
Yeah.
Not the same way, right? And if JT and Nylander are as dangerous as they can be, they play the season, play the playoffs the way they finished the season, the way that they've played in playoffs past, that is going to be a hard thing for Ottawa to handle. And that second line and Johnny T is, I think that's my X factor right now.
Come at you in waves. I think that's a big story too. And Rosie talks about it quite frequently, where just line by line, just keep bringing the momentum. And I think the Leafs are situated pretty well when you look at the line combinations entering this series, where they're able to do that. And conversely, you look at Ottawa. I mean, there are a lot of question marks with that team right now. From the bottom six, Nick Boogie Cousins not playing here in Game 1, which is a bit of a surprise, but coming back after a lengthy hiatus due to injury, so that's a story. You look at the blue line. If you look at Toronto and sort of the conversation about the big boys, you got to take advantage of guys like youngsters like Tyler Klevin, and Nick Matenpalo is going to make his playoff debut. Like, these aren't run-of-the-mill household names. With the due respect, they're steady players, but the matchup game is going to be so vital. And you look at the talent on both rosters, it's night and day for me. I think the Maple Leafs are the better team, but again, you got to go out there and prove it today.
Yeah, I think Ottawa has the best defenseman in the series,
Sure.
Sanderson.
Yeah.
Outside of that, it's no disrespect to the other guys, but
Yeah.
it's like everybody else we have, I think, can go toe-to-toe, and everybody else we have brings important elements to not really have had before. The matchup or the combination of McCabe and Tanev, like,
Yeah.
if they get out there and I assume Berube's going to do it, I would see them though playing like 25, 28 minutes a night, depending on what situations you get into, playing the best offensive lines of the other team. Now you go down to your Carlo and your Morgan Rielly line, and how those guys start to go out there against the Sens. They're going to take on less important matchups.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not what Morgan Rielly has had in years past. Traditionally, he's number one, and he's got to play with Luke Shen and Ron Hainsey and take on those.
Yeah,
like, you're going to match up that way well. I don't know, man. I'm just excited. I'm excited by this roster and what they have, and not just like the names on it, but like the actual physical construction, like the identity that's been put into these guys. I'm excited. I don't know. Are you reading the chat here? Are you seeing what's going on? We got this guy Francis. There's a couple Sens fans buzzing around. Choke Leafs, choke. Leafs out in the first round.
I'm telling you,
Berube
these
bringing
guys
the
are
same
nervous,
thing.
okay? Because the consensus for me, I haven't seen any Leafs fans chirping Sens fans. It's the other way around because they're nervous.
Yes. I mean, look, at the end of the day, you're going to try to celebrate a win if you even get one. And the problem is you're going to have to drive 30 minutes back to downtown from the arena. And then you're going to get there, and all the bars are closed because they closed an hour before the game. Because no one lives there.
There's a bar life.
There's no fans. No, there's nothing.
There's not even a Greta there. I only go to Greta. I only go to Greta.
You got to go to Quebec. That's where you got to go, and that's where the team should be. So
well, I always learn you go to Gatineau, actually. Instead of going to Ottawa, you go to Gatineau.
Okay, yeah.
So you go to Quebec if you actually want to party. But I honestly feel like Sens fans are really, really nervous, and they should be, because this Maple Leafs team, this fan base is feeling really good about life. You can kick everything out the door. I don't give a shit how the Leafs did last year, 5 years from now. By the way, I just got a text, and you guys love this. Puck drop, 7-10. 7-10 for puck drop for this game. Producer Vic likes that.
Yeah, that means more beers for Vic.
Yeah, exactly. If there's one connection I have, I know when the puck drops are for these hockey games. That's all we know. We don't know anybody inside the organization.
That's the worst text I get from Nick every time. I'll be like sitting there, I'm pumped up, I'm like, oh, the game's about to kick off. I'm trying to finish something. I started dinner early so that I'm ready for the game. Then I get a text from Nick. Puck drop, 7:22. I'm like, what the fuck? The game's at 7, bro. Yeah, or the 7:30 game, 7:49 puck drop. Like, fuck off. What are we doing?
Yeah, it's wild. At the Leafs Nation 401, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Again, we're down here at Greta Bar YYZ. Still have time to join us if you would like, and a lot of great specials. $7 Bud Lights, nachos, $10 off that.
Nachos are unreal.
Yeah, I love the nachos here, man. The nachos are like a go-to when I'll order some a bit later on here.
Yeah.
Got some Pink Whitneys for $7 as well. So make your way down 590 King Street West. We're going to be here all postseason long, Zach.
I'm excited. This is going to be a good spot, and hopefully as it continues to build, look, this is our first year doing stuff here with Greta. Edmonton has established that, and you got to go out there to Edmonton and experience it in person. I've seen all the pictures and everything of those guys from the Four Nations, from what they were doing in the playoff run last year. It looked like an unbelievable atmosphere. I know more and more people are finding out what Greta is and coming to appreciate it the way that we have. So hopefully as this run goes deep, I'm hoping, then we pack this place in and get more and more people out here for these pregame, postgame shows and stuff.
We got a massive screen to watch the game today. Looking forward to that. But I can't help but smirk. And I'm not dunking on anybody. I think it's tough to coach in this market, but fuck. The Devils got pasted today against Carolina. I know Jack Hughes is not playing, but I'm always careful because I know what it's like to be a Leafs fan, and there's always that opportunity that they can shit themselves in a game. But again, really confident.
Leafy things. Yeah.
Very leafy things. But, dude, I'm past it. I'm excited for this series. I think it's so great for the game, great for Ontario, great for TV, radio. But the big thing I am looking at in this series, we talked about the power play, discipline. Rosie and I have been hitting this for like the last week. You got to dictate the play in this series, not only here in game one, not only in the first 10 minutes, but moving forward where you're the aggressor. And I think from the Ottawa perspective, they're green. They're really, really green. This is, for many of them, their first playoff run.
Yep.
I know they got some vets. They got Hamonic, they got Giroux and others. But these guys are probably prone to take some dumbass penalties, including Brady Tkachuk, who had as many goals as Matthew Knies, who's like the 6th, 7th best player on the Maple Leafs. So.
Yeah, that's the thing. I keep hearing, how are they going to handle Brady Tkachuk? How do they match
I
up
don't
against
care.
Brady Tkachuk?
Yeah.
Brady Tkachuk, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, we got Matthew Knies, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's it's not the same, but at the end of the day, it's a guy who scored as many
one
goals
player.
at the same hit. Yeah, who
the Leafs beat a team that had Kucherov, Hedman, Point. I mean, it's
Vasilevsky.
Yeah,
like, what are
yeah.
we gonna do? We're gonna fold because they have Ullmark and Brady Tkachuk. Like, if that's the case, fuck this. We might as well just mail it in and say, hey, you know what? Thanks for the regular season money. We're not even gonna bother playing the playoffs here. Like, that's it for us. I don't know. Like, I get how important those guys are, not trying to downplay it, but it's just more, if you're in that Leafs room and you're looking across going, fuck, they got Brady Tkachuk, like, that's it. It's over. You should not be thinking that way. That should not be a
one
problem.
singular player.
Yeah, you know who you've got? Austin Matthews, Matthew Knies, William Nylander, Mitch Marner, who just scored 100 points.
Yeah.
He scored 100 points.
It's your guy.
You've got Kristanev and McKay. Like, you've got
102
all these
actually.
Guys. 102. Thank you. Actually, I
Don't
appreciate
sell
the
him
correction.
short, Zach.
Yeah, sorry. That's worth every penny. But yeah, you've got all these guys in the room with you. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Yeah.
And if you look around and though you don't think those guys are going to get you over the hump, you're fucked before you even start.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a harsh reality. You are.
Yeah. I agree. At the Leafs Nation 401, again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to check out the LeafsNation.com. We already have 12 pieces up on TLN today. All avenues covered on the website, theleafsnation.com. Make sure to check out right now. The folks over there doing a fantastic job. So do that. Again, we're here at Greta Bar getting set for Game 1, Battle of Ontario, man. It just brings back a lot of memories, and I have no clue what they have set for the pregame festivities, but, man, I would give anything to see a Roberts come out, a Tucker, a Domi. At this point, we are well aware.
Imagine parading those guys out
Well,
there.
it's anything to get that crowd going. And I know it's a different animal in the playoffs. I'll be there for Game 2 coming up on Tuesday, so I'll come back with a full report of the crowd. It is a lot noisier, I will say, in the Stanley Cup playoffs at least.
Yeah, it is. I know a bunch of people were already heading down. When I was coming here to get ready for this show, I saw a bunch of people heading to Maple Leaf Square and getting ready to go into there. So, the city is buzzing right now. I feel like it's going to be louder in there. I have got to go to a couple of playoff games. Every time I've been, it's been pretty
good,
loud, as long as the team doesn't really give you a reason to not be loud,
Yeah.
which has been something that we've dealt with previously, but I don't think it's going to be a problem this year. I think they're going to be ready. Like, people seem jacked up about this Battle of Ontario and what it's going to be like and what it's going to bring. If they bring those guys out there, though, oh my
man.
God.
It's too easy. It is too easy where I think you have these guys drop the pot. Ottawa's going to do it. Chris Neal or somebody like that's going to poke around for Game 3. Like, I mean, there's not dummies running this thing. I think it's a simple play here. Get the crowd going.
It's going to be uncomfortable, though, in Ottawa when they bring those guys out and it's crickets because it's only Leafs fans in the building.
Well, they're going to bring Patrick Lalime out, and he couldn't make a save.
He's going to be looking like this.
Yeah, exactly. But it should be interesting, I know, from that perspective. And I think you even look at Ottawa. So let's talk a bit about the Sens and what they bring to the table.
Yeah.
Clearly, goaltending is going to be a big topic of focus. We talked a lot about Anthony Stolarz. He's going to start Game 1 here. But it's like the Leafs can't escape the Boston Bruins. Linus Ullmark, who has come on this show multiple times. Of course, he's an old tandem mate with Carter Hutton.
Yeah.
I'll bring the conversation on air. I got him on last June, full disclosure, because I wanted to create this narrative that the Leafs are going to be in the conversation for Linus Ullmark. Never. He said he was not waving to Toronto. We still did the interview. Didn't mention that in the interview. And I said, why? He was like, well, I get it. Conditioned to hate the Leafs because you're a Boston Bruin.
Yeah.
So, bulletin board material. We're going to roll with that. We love Linus Ullmark's a great dude. Obviously interviewed him a couple times with Huts, but he is beatable. You look at the postseason numbers. We talked quite a bit about Stoli, but Ullmark, 3-6-0, 3.59, 887. And on top of that, the Leafs actually fared pretty well against Ullmark in last year's playoffs. It was Swayman that did the damage, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that that was part of the reason, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that was part of the reason that they decided to go with Swayman and kept going back to him in the series, right? Like, because Leafs are doing well against him. Look, the past is the past. Maybe in his mind he's moved on from that. Maybe they don't solve him the same. They did struggle with the Sens a little bit this year, especially scoring. I know we're kind of covering what the Sens could do and the damage they could have, but I mean, to kind of bring it back onto the Leafs side, that again, yeah, you could get goalied here, but you know what you did to Andrei Vasilevsky, who was the second best goalie in the NHL this year? You lit him up all season long. You solved him 2 years ago. You have found ways to beat these high-end goaltenders. And I know that some of these goalies can just black out. They have an ability to just say, nothing's going by me. That's it. It's a very real
possibility.
Why
not us, Zach? That's my question.
Why not? You have... Guess what you have? Yeah, okay, sure. That guy's one of the best goalies. You know what you have? You have some of the best goal scorers. Yep. You have William Nylander, who finished second in NHL scoring. You have Mitch Marner.
102 points, 102.
One of the 4 players in the NHL this year who got over 100 points. You have Austin Matthews, who scored 69 last year. He's been one of the best, if not the best, goal scorers in the NHL the entire time he's been in the league. And he had a down year this year, and he still put up over 30. Like, you have guys who can solve this. JT pushing up to 40. You have guys who can find ways to solve this. Just, look, this is the most caveman way to say it ever, but just score. Like, you've got the scores. Just score. Yeah. Don't worry about that guy. You're going to be okay.
I wonder what the messaging will be in the room, and I know it's a new head coach, and we've talked a bit about Sheldon Keefe, but I just don't want to see the perimeter shit. Like, get instilled, get involved, play your brand, play your style, get to the dirty areas. You can't make life easy, man. I would love first shift, a guy like Nyes or Lawton get in the grill of Allmark and show him, like, hey, this is going to be a long fucking series. Like, I think the Leafs in the past have been victim of making life way too simple for the opponent. And that's the one thing I'm looking forward moving in this series is looking at the Leafs perspective offensively. What do they bring to the table in that facet?
Yeah, and you know, one of the things that I'm excited to see is we've had the problem of, well, the bottom 6 don't score. They're not able to contribute. I am really interested in what happens with McMahon, Robertson, Lorenz, and Lawton specifically. Lawton's the one guy in that bottom 6 I have circled right now as the guy who's going to make a difference and be able to score and bring all the other elements. Like, if that guy goes out there,
X Factor,
you know, he's been this piece that I do the post-game show and people are like, this guy fucking sucks. They're calling him Lafton in the chat.
Wow.
And it's like, if that guy comes out and he puts Ridley Gregg through the end boards or puts the puck in Thomas
legally,
Schwartz's
though,
corner,
legally.
and just cranks that guy, that building, one, is going to explode.
Yeah.
Everything anybody said about him all season since that trade is going to be forgotten. And then if that guy scores, if Steven Lorenz scores, it's going to be like the excitement level is going to just course through that building because people connect with that. People know these are childhood guys. They're from the city. This shit just does not faze them. They're going to be ready, and it's going to get that building going as well. It's just going to feed back and forth.
Even a Max Domi, right? This is the second go-around in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The homegrown product is obviously, we all know who his dad is, but of intrigue, like we talked a lot about the deadline. They need this 3C. They need this 3C, and Domi's going to play on the wing, and he'll start the Stanley Cup playoffs on the second line with obviously Nylander and Tavares.
I don't mind it. I mean,
I don't think it's going to stick long term, but
that's what I was going to say. I don't think it's going to stick. I don't mind it to start here. I think Pacioretty
Me too.
is going to be in this series, and I think he's going to be in the series very quickly. But you ended the season well. Domi looked good with those guys. We saw him do really well in the top 6 last year as well, playing with Matthews and Bertuzzi on that first line, and we've seen him develop chemistry with Nylander at different points when they bounced around. Like, I'm fine with it. I don't mind that start. It is kind of hilarious that, like, we got one thing to address here, and it's like, well,
didn't address. Well, I said it when they picked up Lawton. I'm like, he won't even start the playoffs as 3C. He was on the second line within a week, right? It is what it is.
Look, the other thing though, one of the things that Merrick said to me, and it kind of makes sense, is you go out and you get some of these guys. If Scott Lawton's your second center, you're not winning the Stanley Cup. If Scott Lawton's your fourth line center, fuck, you've got a shot here. If he bumps up and he plays the third, if he stays down in there on the fourth line, but it's like you have guys who are probably above what they are playing down into
Swiss
a
Army
role.
knives.
Right.
Yeah.
And that just gives you the depth. It allows you to overpower somebody in a matchup game like Scott Laughton is not a fourth-line center. He's not a fourth-line center. He's just not. And if he goes down there and he plays on that fourth line and he excels, it's going to be hard for Ottawa to handle it.
I always bring up, you look at recent winners in the Stanley Cup playoffs, that necessity, that need for the Swiss Army pickup at the trade deadline. More often than not, another perfect example this year where the biggest fish, not necessarily the biggest prize at the end of the day when it comes to the Stanley Cup playoffs and the acquisitions and all that. And I bring up Ivan Barbashev with the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah.
I bring up Arturi Lehkonen, who was really, really good in Game 1 here for the Colorado Avalanche. But, like, just monumental big acquisitions at the trade deadline. And I look at Scotty Laughton as a perfect example of that what could end up being this year's Lehkonen, this year's Barbashev, where he's a guy who can play on your second line, your third line, your fourth line. Doesn't matter where he plays. He can bring something of substance to you. And I always bring up the St. Louis Blues when they won the Stanley Cup. They had Alex Steen on their fourth line, who's GM in waiting after Doug Armstrong right now in St. Louis. Brilliant mind. But he was still a really decent player playing on the fourth line. So, I don't know. I think sometimes we trivialize the line combinations these days. And if you had to ask me, I probably think the Laughton line's line 3 right now and the other line's line 4. It depends how they're utilized and deployed.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good point, actually. Yeah. And you know what? It's the same thing that we've said about 1 and 2 for a long time.
Exactly.
Really, until last couple of years. It depends on who goes against them, how they're deployed. Realistically, you think about any normal team's 1-2, you're going to get a bit of a drop-off.
Sure.
That hasn't traditionally been the case here of what you've got in these guys. And if they can roll out there 1-2 that are interchangeable and 3-4 that are interchangeable, that's a very different situation. It's harder to match up. It's easier for Berube to deploy is the other thing as well. Like, it just gives you a lot of flexibility. I know you're a professional and you've got these sheets and we've got like stuff to talk about. I can't stop looking at the chat.
What's going on here?
Producer Vic is at fucking war with Sens fans in the chat. There's some wanker in there named Francis who's just going at Vic right now. Vic is attacking this guy in the chat. So I kind of appreciate it because Battle of Ontario is taking place on the ice. It's going to be taking place in the stands, and it's taking place in our chat.
We got a super chat in support of Sick Kids. Our girl, Tammy. Tammy, why the fuck are you not here at Greta right now? You are absolutely killing us, saying Happy Easter to everyone. We love you, Tammy. We got to get you out to one of these games here. But, yeah, full props to producer Vic.
Yeah.
Bringing the heat. I know Rosie was tweeting at Sens fans last week. So we're igniting the fire a bit here in this Battle of Ontario, 5th installment in the Stanley Cup playoffs, Zach.
Carter says you look tall.
First thing, Vangelis here right now. He's like, you're taller in person.
Like
do I look like a fucking, I don't know. What kind of perspective do I give on YouTube to people that I'm a little dinkling?
I think it's however you set up your camera. It might be angled like that.
We got to fix that in the off season.
Put it down so it points
I need like
up
a casting couch or something. At the Leafs Nation 401, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Again, if you're just tuning in, getting set for round 1 of the Battle of Ontario. We're here at Greta Bar, YYZ, 590 King Street West. Still have a chance to come on down here and watch the game with us. By the way, happening all postseason long. Game 2 coming up on Tuesday night. We're going to be here as well, theleafsnation.com, where you can check out the very latest 12 articles already up on the website today. And Now We Go t-shirts. Zach and I are both wearing it, producer Vic as well. Nationgear.ca, where you can jump aboard. And we are giving away some Now We Go t-shirts here on location throughout the playoffs. So make sure you come check out Greta Bar YYZ or YYZ. That's one of the things in the chat these days. People are pissed that I say Z, not Z.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I didn't even realize I did it until you said that too. And then
what does it matter?
I said it on the sheet, and I was like, yeah, come out and join us on Sunday, Greta Bar YYZ. And this guy was like, "You're Canadian," it said. I'm like, okay.
Dude, the amount of incels on social media and YouTube, like you read the chat. I've gotten to a point where I just some of the commentary, man, it just kills me. But yeah, it's okay, Z or Z, whatever way you want to interpret. Paul Zangari writes in, Leaf fan here, sends in 4. Wow.
Yeah, he's been having drinks at Easter dinner, and he's on the other side. He's in the dark place where you get to as a Leafs fan. You're like, this is gonna be miserable. We're fucked. That's
very
where he's
dark
at right now.
Very, very, very dark. But again, great atmosphere here at Greta Bar. The two teams on the ice. Again, if you're just tuning in and didn't see the line combinations from the morning skate, Max Pacioretty, we've been talking a lot about him. Not in the lineup here for Game 1. the right call. Your boy Nick Robertson's going to play the right call. He has been sneaky hot as of late, so maybe you can get some contributions from the bottom six. David Kampf, it sounds like he's good to go, will not play in this game. And the big story on the blue line, I think the media making maybe a bigger story than it was. I never had any reservations that McCabe or OEL were not going to suit up for Game 1. No. And again, Oliver Ekman-Larsson making his Maple Leafs debut here in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
I mean, look, that was definitely just, we're not playing.
Load management.
Right? Yeah.
No, he was okay.
Yeah,
he's fine.
I mean, Dakota Mermis comes up.
He was
you
good.
You probably also had less, that's what I was going to say. You had less panic about, like, we got to get them in because they were fine.
Yeah.
Fleet Myers, maybe goal of the year against
That was
Detroit.
nasty,
him and Mermis step in. They looked fine, and it was like, you know what? Fuck this. Like, might as well rest these guys. The only other guy you probably would have liked at that point would have been Tanev to get some time away, but that also seems like a guy to me. It's like, you ever hear the stories about goalies, like, they need action to feel good? It's like Chris Tanev, in a way, seems like the guy to me who, like, needs to be blocking shots to feel good. Like, it's like,
it's his game.
I'm just making it up. But, like, Berube went into the room, and he's like, Chris, like, we're going to sit you down. And he's like, Coach, I need to eat pills.
I'm really excited for playoff Tanev. Like, for as much as we make about the regular season, and Rosie gets on me, it's all about this. It's all about the now. It's about the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah.
This is why you get Oliver Ekman-Larsson. This is why you get Chris Tanev. This is why you get Max Pacioretty to start this potentially epic journey, right? I was laughing the other day, too. There's just so much focus, so much conversation. You don't want to get ahead of yourselves, but I think we're guilty in this market specifically of thinking there's one series in a postseason. There's actually 4, believe it or not. But I'd love to get to the second one at least here.
We've been trained that way, right?
Conditioned, yes, sadly.
Yeah. I know. Just give us a second round here. Let's see that. The Sens are not going to be easy here.
Yeah.
Here, actually, I want to know what you think about this, because I had talked about this. I took callers on Thursday and wanted to gauge where people were at on this. One of the things that I was saying, and I keep saying Leafs in 5, and I know it's like a joke we throw out there, like Leafs in 5, whatever. Like, I kind of actually do believe that. And the reason I say it, though, is more so I feel like you just don't have a dick around mentality in the room. Whether it's Berube or Carlo, who's done it with Boston, or if it's Tanev and McCabe and, like, these veteran guys who just aren't going to stand for that, or if the core has finally matured. But I kind of get this feeling, it's like you watch Colorado's and Dallas's, who are unfortunately playing against each other this year, but you watch them go into series. They play a lesser opponent. Mm-hmm. It's known it's a lesser opponent. Yeah. Like, they go in there and they shit pump that team, and they move on and they go to the next round, and they sit around for a couple days, they rest, they get ready, and they go to the next round. I think the Leafs need to do that this year. Like, it may not happen, but that's kind of the mindset I have right now going into this from a Leafs perspective. That's how I feel about the team and what they're capable of, and also what I think they should do. So Leafs in 5, I think it's just one of those ones where you open this game today, the puck drop, you go out there and you just go guns a-blazing and take it to them. And you do it from game 1 until you close this thing off, hopefully in 4 when you're in Ottawa there.
I have a big question for you.
Okay.
That's a lot of conversation about in the chat. Did you bring your smelling salts today?
No, I'm going to have to figure this out. I might have to go home and get them.
I was going to finish this pregame show with some smelling salts, but we'll have that.
I'm trying to figure out what to do.
You're going to go home for smelling salts. There's no point in that. But then the problem is they win this game, then you can't do smelling salts for game 2, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to change that as well.
I know.
What's going on?
I got a text. You forgot your salts. So I might have
the wife texts you. Wow.
I might have a way of getting them here.
Oh, the wife's going to come through with the salts here. Okay.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I guess they're putting the audio on, so that's our cue to wrap up here. Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win is a barn burner, every face-off, hat-trick, power play, shot on goal, penalty shot, and every suspenseful minute in between is amazing. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365, an official partner of the NHL. Download the Bet365 app, use the code NATION, that's NATION, N-A-T-I-O-N, to get in the game. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you're someone you know has a gambling problem, visit connexontario.ca. Zach, what are some bets you are playing tonight?
Okay. Ready for this one?
Okay.
So, man, I'm really, really buying into this right now. I think this team is different. I think the coach, the mentality, the mindset, the construction, it's different. I think one guy in particular is different. I don't know if you know where I'm going on this. I looked around before. The best price available across any sports book, which is why you should be betting at Bet365 as well. It's at Bet365. I got an anytime goal scorer tonight, and I think part of it is he has to show up. And everyone talks about how he's this big game guy now. I got Mitch Marner anytime goal plus 225 at Bet365 tonight. That's the one I'm looking at. The other one that I was playing for fun earlier, and I was trying to get Vic on board with it, is Austin Matthews 2+ here tonight. I think it was plus 700 on Bet365 earlier. So it's a decent number. It's pretty good compared to the market, but those are the two. I mean, look, the big boys got to show up. I think they got to take control of this game. I think you got to take control of this series. Why not start it tonight? You know, you're the 100-point man. You got this off your back. Matthews, 400. Let's go. Let's open this thing up big. Let's take control of the game, take control of the series, leave no doubts, and just fucking sorry, no swearing on this part.
That's fine.
Just steamroll the Sens. Just steamroll them.
I'm gonna keep it simple, but I like where you're coming from, because that's got to be a big story for this team. If we think they're different, the big boys got to look different in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Namely, guys in a contract here, so wants to have a strong postseason in Mitch Marner.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it simple. Give me Leafs in 60. Leafs in 60. So I think they'll win this game in regulation. I just expect and I anticipate a monster effort here in Game 1, a tone-setting effort, putting your foot down type effort. So I like the Maple Leafs in regulation tonight.
I'm going to be on that with you. You said that before you came here. You know, you're not a superstitious guy. I'm not a superstitious guy. Little stitious. You put all the wheels in motion.
I did.
Ahead of this. Everything is on track for that to happen.
Yeah.
If I don't tail here tonight, I'm an idiot. I'm going to feel like I'm left in the dust. And I think a lot of the people here at Greta Bar right now are going to be on that as well.
Yes. TMB, you are incorrect. They can swear all they want, but they won't be able to monetize it. Not true at all. Fuck.
No.
Fuck right now. Fuck that. Yeah. So I can swear. We are allowed to swear. That's not a concern. Zach just a really good boy and doesn't want to swear on Easter Sunday, right?
That's right. That's right.
But
that's
folks,
right.
I think we're all but set. Lastly, just want to thank our good friends over at Greta Bar one more time. We're going to sit down, get some grub, some nachos, some $7 Pink Whitneys, and have ourselves a time. Don't forget, following this game, same location. Zach's going to be hosting. We're going to flip roles here. I'm going to be co-hosting with you for some of it. Break down Game 1 here in the battle.
Maybe we'll get that man in here.
Producer Vic's going to be in the mix too here on location. Maybe I'll man the screen there and just stand there and look like I know what I'm doing. But again, thank you to Greta. Thank you to the folks here on location. Thanks to everybody in the chat. You guys are tremendous. Even our Sens haters, you're still giving us numbers, which is great. You're giving us reactions.
Fuck the Sens.
Yeah, well, fuck the Sens. That is a classic theme too as well.
Yeah.
At the Leafs Nation 401, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure to check out the LeafsNation.com for the very latest. NationGear.ca if you want to purchase your very own Now We Go t-shirt as well. But that's it from Greta Bar. Enjoy Game 1, Battle of Ontario. Take care.
For more content just like this, including game previews, post-game live shows, Leafs Morning Take Monday through Friday with Nick Alberga and Jay Rosehill with special guests, as well as instant reaction videos, make sure to be subscribed here to the Leafs Nation YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss anything, and drop a like.